Cool. Community update for the 27th of October. Dan, you want to take this one?
Sure. Yeah, I am sorry you can't see me, guys. I'm having some issues with my video here. Hope you can hear me. This is actually really exciting. Something that I've been kind of working on for the last month, but basically we want to move from our discourse forum to the Commonwealth platform, and kind of join the rest of the ecosystem and the what looks like hundreds of other platforms that are using it. So currently we're in talks with Commonwealth to see if integrating our forum into their platform is actually a good fit for us. I had a really great meeting with them last week, along with Will from the foundation, and I was kind of blown away, to be honest with you. I mean, they can offer us an easy, very easy transition of our posts and user profiles into their platform, so users don't even have to do anything. You're just going to go to forum.regen.network like you normally do, and boom, all of a sudden you'll be at Commonwealth. It'll look a little bit different, and you'll be able to, like it says here, log in with your Kepler wallet, which I'm really excited about too. Maybe I'll have Gregory do that quote again later, but that's kind of the Web3 idea there. We'll also have better access to governance participation. You'll be able to vote directly from their site. It's just a lot more streamlined. I really like their platform. And of course, as I mentioned, we can keep our custom URL. So it'll still be forum.regen.network.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, Commonwealth is pretty fun. I'm also excited for some of the ease of governance, just like improving governance UI that this should bring. So,
yep.
Update. We've spoken about this in this call and in forum posts and blog posts and Twitter over the last month or so. We were socializing the idea of using the Cosmos ecosystem allocation to do a direct sort of DAO to DAO transfer of half of the ecosystem allocation over to Osmosis. And I socialized that with the Osmosis community. Obviously, they were pretty stoked about it. There's a healthy conversation going on over on that forum about, what to do with it. Ideas include LP rewards, protocol-owned liquidity, and some pretty sophisticated proposals are being circulated over there. And we're excited to move forward with it. So things are kind of moving along. The next steps are going to be to execute the preliminary transfer and then move it over into the Osmosis community pool, and then they'll have governance over it, and then they can move it into a multi-sig or move it into LP rewards or do other things. But we'll actually essentially be trusting their community to make the decisions that they want to around that promised allocation to the Cosmos ecosystem more generally. I propose that we do a similar thing with the hub community pool shortly after we get this all worked out with Osmosis. So that'll come maybe in the next couple of weeks after this. So that's exciting. And there's links to the forum post on our forum and links to the Commonwealth forum. Just would encourage people to chime in if you've got opinions or ideas or questions over there. Okay, Regen Ledger version 2.0, next steps. Ryan, can I pass it over to you?
Yeah, you can. Let's see, you can hear me, right? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, as far as next steps for Regen Ledger v2.0, we are pretty much at the end of the auditing and testing cycle. I think all the tests have actually been completed at this point, and there was just a couple minor things that came up. We have merged those changes actually, and are releasing an RC4, which will be hopefully the final release candidate unless anything comes up in the next couple of days. And then we'll be ready to release the official version of v2.0 and submit the upgrade proposal. So we're really looking forward to that. The changes that actually have already been tested. So the RC is coming out, but we've already confirmed that those fixes have been made. So the documentation has been updated for the eco-credit module, especially the specification. If you're interested in learning more about the eco-credit module, there's a lot of information there that goes into a little bit more depth. We're going to release a blog post that's going to be a little bit more high-level version. And in relation to this blog post, there's also a really great presentation in terms of deep dive that we did last week that's available on YouTube, which is a Regen Ledger and eco-credit module deep dive. So if you're maybe outside the blockchain space, there's a first part there that gives you a nice little overview of why Regen Ledger uses Cosmos SDK and why an application-specific blockchain is important. And then we dive into the eco-credit module and go into details on what the data structures look like and what the state migration functions look like. And then we talk a little bit about its relation to the real world and the registry program. So if you're interested, there's a link on YouTube, or we can share a link here in the chat too.
I shared it.
Done. Thank you. Dan's always on top of it. So yeah, as far as next steps for the upgrade proposal, we're hoping that that's going to go out this week. And then the Redwood testnet rehearsal upgrade will happen alongside the upgrade proposal for Regen mainnet. And in terms of the allow list proposal, that will follow the upgrade proposal. So once we've actually done an upgrade to Regen Ledger v2.0, it's open to anyone who's interested in becoming a credit class creator to submit a governance proposal to be included on the allow list as well. And R&D is planning to submit an initial proposal, and there are guidelines in our governance repo, Regen Ledger or Regen-Network /governance on GitHub. And that includes information about the process for becoming a credit class creator and what community members should take into consideration when they are voting on proposals from other community members and the proposal that R&D will submit. So.
Just a question for you, Ryan. It's just sort of thinking through this. It seems to me that maybe R&D should submit the proposal to be on the allow list as soon as the proposal, not wait until the proposal passes, but submit it as soon as the proposal reaches quorum, if that quorum is looking like it's going to pass, just so we don't have a 2-week delay, if possible. You know, if we hit quorum and it looks like we're going to pass, maybe we would just go ahead and like put the. Does that make sense? I don't think that's
possible. Parameter will not exist on Regen Ledger yet. There might be some verification that needs to happen. And
got it. Yeah, because it is.
We can double check. We can double check. That would be something on the SDK side in terms of the params module, whether that is going to verify if the parameter actually exists before
we could
to prevent people from submitting a faulty proposal. But
we can try it on Redwood too, and if it works on Redwood, we should be good.
Yeah, I will take a look at that and try to get information about that, because that would be a great idea if it's possible. But cool. My first reaction would be that it's not possible.
It's probably not possible. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that would be a check included on the params module.
All right, I got cool. Okay. Speaking of Redwood, Dan, you want to talk about
I can talk about this. Sure. Yeah, so basically what we'd like to do is, just as I'd kind of mentioned, Redwood is, our running stable testnet, which we're going to need to upgrade to the new version. Next week, I'd like to plan to actually do an upgrade. So anybody who's interested, it doesn't have to be everybody, but specifically if you're not used to using Cosmovisor, if you haven't used it before, and you'd like to test it out, this is going to be your chance to do that. So If you're wanting to join, go ahead and set up a validator on Redwood right now. All of the information is in the docs, so you should be able to spin that up. If there's something missing, just reach out to me on Discord and I'll make sure that you can find the information easily. So once we have that final release candidate, that RC4, I believe that Ryan was speaking of, then we'll actually be able to do that. So basically the upgrade steps will be, so pending that release, we'll submit and I'll just go ahead and do that, an upgrade proposal. If you are an active validator on the Redwood testnet, please go ahead and just vote yes on that so it does pass. There's just a 24-hour voting window. I believe me and the Bitwit team have most of the voting power anyway, but please, just for good practice, go ahead and vote. And then make sure that you have, maybe you should do this first, but make sure you have Cosmovisor set up with that binary. Once the voting period ends, the upgrade will trigger at a predetermined block height. All of this information will be available to anybody who's interested in the upgrade on Redwood, and I'll make sure it's easily available. So this will be happening sometime next week, probably by the end of next week. It all really just depends on when we get the binary, and I want to make sure that everybody who is interested in this does get an opportunity to join. So yeah, that's about it for that. And then we'll have Hambach on 2.0, and we'll have Redwood on 2.0, and then hopefully everybody will know what to do when it comes for time for mainnet upgrades. So that's the big important one.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I can talk about this next slide too. That'll kind of leads into that one. So again, once the Redwood is done, the Redwood upgrade is done, we'll have maybe about another week or so voting period left on the mainnet upgrade. So just make sure, for those of you who are here, make sure that you're ready to go. You've got Cosmovisor installed. You'll have the binary. You should have everything that you need to go ahead and do that. Of course, so proposal number 5 will be submitted in the coming days. I'm not sure, really, again, it just kind of depends on when that binary is done. Of course, our team is fantastic. I saw Ryan working at midnight last night, so I know they're working really hard. So then again, during the voting period, just make sure that you have Cosmovisor set up once you have that binary. And yeah, the one important part of this, we're going to do this on Redwood too. It's not going to be as important, but of course with a mainnet upgrade, there's going to be a block height involved. That's going to be the halt height, basically. So the chain will halt at that point. The upgrade will happen, and it should start spinning again. So everybody will know that block halt height. It'll be on the governance site on our GitHub. It'll be in the proposal, and I'll be blasting it out on all of our channels, so you guys will be fully aware of what that height exactly is, and you'll be able to properly set up Cosmovisor.
Great. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, so this is kind of just leftover stuff. I just wanted to reiterate, you know, like Hambach is up and running. So if you're interested in some of these experimental modules, all of the information is there. The faucet's working. You can find all the RPC endpoints and the peer nodes and everything that you need in our GitHub. And the same thing with Redwood. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the docs are updated with this information too. If not, they will be in the next couple of days. But yeah, just go ahead and play around with that stuff. So I know that some people already are. If you want to go to the next slide. So this happened, I mentioned last time around that the Genesis file was a little bit off from mainnet. So we went ahead and updated that. And Redwood is an exact copy minus the voting period. The voting period is only 24 hours on Redwood.
Awesome.
That's it. Yep.
I didn't get to update the CIF chain data here, but just a quick market data update. So that one, just note SIF chain DEX is old, and I think the 24-hour trading volume is old.
Nope, that's
Apologies.
from today.
That's new. Okay, great.
That's new, yep.
So yeah, some significant trading volume. When we have just a little short of $30 million worth of liquidity on osmosis, locked on osmosis, and just a little short of, or a little over 8 million on gravity DEX. And SIF chain is probably pretty similar to what it was, maybe a little more, because the market has, well, it's probably about the same actually. So yeah, that's the market news. And of course, link to the community call. And let's, yeah, shift gears and see if anybody has questions or comments or topics that they would like to discuss. Welcome, Patrick. Nice to see you. We're just entering into the open discussion space. Greg, it's nice to see you too. Hope you're recovering well from COVID.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Awesome.
I have a quick question. This is Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I was curious, I'm kind of just hearing about the Regen collective community stuff and reading that Medium post. Do you need a KYC even for people who are in the incentivized testnet?
That's a good question. Actually, if you were in the incentivized testnet, go ahead and reach out to me. And I don't think you do. I'll double check, but I don't think you do. I'm pretty sure you don't. Yeah.
If we have your KYC information somehow, we'll make sure that it works.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just reach out to me on Discord and let me know your email address, and I'll have your Discord username, but that should be good enough for me.
Great, thank you.
Guys, other news, I had a really fun conversation with some folks on Open Team. I'm hoping that they're going to start working on a community spend proposal. So Paul and Will, this might be of interest to you. I was chatting with Dorn and thinking that just sort of like cajoling Dorn, because he's really excited about spending for public goods and open source stuff. And he has lots of ideas around community governing, like community resources and how that resonates with like Open Team's mission. And I was just sort of saying like, hey, we have a community pool. Nobody's made a proposal yet. If there's a conversation amongst Open Team members about specific functionality or pieces, even if it's basic tooling, whatever it might be, it's like, hey, let's do this. Let's do some testing. Let's do some work. Just like highly encourage the community of Open Team to engage with this. A lot of the work that Hilo has been doing has been an attempt to sort of like create sort of some social momentum around some of these tools actually being used for the broader Open Team community. I have a hope that Regen Ledger could actually be used to do community management of funds as part of the FAR grant and other things. And so I think there's some really exciting things, and just like leaning in and like taking a couple cracks and doing a couple pieces, getting funding for that and making some stuff happen would be really cool. And Dorn was thinking about doing something in collaboration with the Commons Stack community staking DAO as well, maybe doing some conviction voting stuff, or sort of circling back the quadratic voting CosmWasm module. Hey, we could be playing around with that on the test net. There could be governance proposals to get CosmWasm 1.0 is now live. So, and there's also a bunch of DAO functionality in the CosmWasm community that could sort of relate to that. So anyway, just to sort of put the bug in your guys' ear that there's some movement there, and it would be really awesome to see that starting to go. Because yeah, I mean, the faster we can deploy that capital and build utility and you know, make some stuff happen, the better, really. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I've been in some conversations with Dorn and Greg from RSI about moving that forward. So we're hoping to get something together and pushing the conversation along. You know, it just takes time to get these things to happen, but I'm really excited about all of that. So yeah, thanks for supporting that conversation too on your end. Like, let's build some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looks like that's exciting. I love it. I really do. Pete also has a question here. Are there any plans to have a minimum commission percent for validators? So again, you got to remember, this is a community blockchain. This is a public blockchain. This is up to you guys. So if that's something that you feel is necessary in our validator community, I would bring that up in a you know, informal discussion just in the validator channel there, or the public channel, or wherever you feel like you're going to be heard, and start talking about it. I have noticed that yes, other communities are doing that, and maybe it's something good, maybe it's not. You never know, but I think it's up to you guys. So if you want to bring that conversation up, please do that. And then, you know, if you feel like this is something that you want to take to a more formal space, go ahead and post on the forum and get some input there. And yeah, as you mentioned, I guess it would just need a proposal. That's exactly right. You would submit a proposal. Do remember that it costs, there's a deposit associated with it. So you know, it's always kind of a gamble. Is it going to get vetoed? I don't think a proposal like this, personally, I don't think something like this would get vetoed. You may get some no's. Who really knows, right? So start that conversation up with the community and move that forward. If you, beyond the forum and the informal discussion on Discord, if you need any help with the proposal itself, I'm more than willing to help. I'm sure that Ryan and others would also help you with the formatting of that and actually executing that on the CLI. So great question.
Cool. Other questions, comments? I'm just thinking about some stuff. I think I forgot to include a slide about this. I think it's useful community context. You guys may have seen the KlimaDAO launch over on Polygon. I think interesting and historical from an attempt to create an algorithmic reserve currency backed by carbon, and also it's sort of like degen crypto ape attraction, also potentially historic. Little bit of context. So we have been working with some of the folks who launched KlimaDAO over the course of quite a while, and not directly on the protocol, but just like they're in the ecosystem that's thinking about what does it look like at this intersection of crypto and climate. And Regen R&D Inc. supported the KlimaDAO launch by providing a bunch of high quality carbon credits into their credit retirement and treasury backing system. And we have some active conversations going on right now around creating a new sort of on-chain credit standard for higher quality credits, because a lot of the credits that are backing Klima are actually of lower quality. So there's this weird arbitrage thing happening. And generally, it's been catalyzing us at R&D Inc. to be thinking a lot about bridges over to Ethereum virtual machine-based protocols. Klima is on Polygon. So we've been doing a bunch of exploring of Gravity Bridge. It seems really likely if we can devote developer resources quickly enough that we will be trying to get Gravity Bridge up onto the Humbach testnet and play around with it, and then trying to move through governance to get a bridge so that as our eco credit module launches or shortly thereafter, we can be serving that emerging marketplace for high quality eco credits. We're sort of the only people at the moment in the crypto space that are attempting to do sort of natively on-chain claims registry and sort of verifiable claims as the backbone for all of this. And like, you know, we're also the only people thinking about land steward governance over the state machine and, you know, quality system, and scientists being included in the governance system. You know, KlimaDAO, I think one of the biggest threats to what they're attempting to do is that they're just sort of sourcing kind of like crappy credits from incumbent systems and tokenizing them, and then creating a big sort of financialization process around that. And we've long been believers here that natural capital financialization is kind of inevitable. The question is really, is it done well? And does it include the right stakeholders? And is it verifiable? And does it create real impact? Not like, will it happen and will people make lots of money? That's maybe not like, will people make lots of money on it is maybe not the best question to ask, because I think the answer is, yeah, judging where currently the world is heading, yes. But really, you know, we'd like to be asking and answering, can we have real impact associated with that? And, you know, we still believe that Regen Network is kind of the best place to be doing that work. So just, you know, context around KlimaDAO launch and how that's been informing our thinking, and, you know, just, yeah.
Yeah, we're just having a side discussion here. There was some discussion kind of on the turning our validators greener. So yeah, there's totally in talks. Blockscope said they were talking on Google Meet with Sarah B, and it kind of over that exact topic. So yep, all that stuff is happening, and you're absolutely right. Sarah is amazing at explaining this kind of stuff. So
She really was.
yeah, she's so good. She's so good. She's helped me learn a lot. Right. Yeah, so that's going to be happening in the coming weeks. I'm not exactly sure on a timeline, but I know that they're working hard every day on it. So again, I mentioned there is a form. I'll go ahead and put that in the validator channel in case anybody is interested in sharing your footprint data with us, and that will help Sarah kind of figure stuff out a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. So excited for that process to take place. Thank you. Thanks, folks. Excited for that process to take place. We've got a great calculator, and at the moment, I think, yeah, there's this whole process of data collection for us to really understand the, you know, the details better. So yeah, excited for Dan and Sarah B to be working on that with all of you, and for us to sort of be leading the way at Regen Network around that. And there will be no shortage of high quality carbon credits for people to use for offsetting. I'm personally going to be sort of advocating that we essentially just sort of offset the whole network. So what I would prefer is for validators to be contributing with data so that we can understand your validator operations and the carbon impact of those validator operations, and that we actually, at Regen Network, we actually approach this at a community level where we go through community vote, and we as a community vote to completely offset all validator operations, and to sort of like link that into just like how the protocol is operating. And then we can support validators in offsetting their work on other networks, and even doing network to network offsets. That's sort of my opinion about the best way to go forward. I know some other folks are thinking it's going to work best to just do like start with a validator offsetting program. And I think it's still up. I think there's a couple good ways to do this, but I'm most excited to just like achieve network and protocol level offsetting, try to automate that. And so what I would love is, as Dan and Sarah B are leaning into data collection, that people sort of be contributing their data about the operations, knowing that we're going to attempt to actually make it zero cost for you as validators who are running validators on Regen Network to be offset. And that's one of the perks of being a member of the Regen Network community, that then you can offer out to the rest of your networks and other things. And so that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, is like, just make it a perk, because we're trying to build a much bigger thing. So anyway, it's not a promise, but it's an idea. So cool. Well, we're just go ahead.
I wanted just to point a thing. Blockly and I submitted a document for the zero emission group. I don't know if you have read it. They kinda ask us to land the technical, more in-depth technical proposal, but by now we don't have such an in-depth knowledge to land that, but we will be looking to do that in the near future. So if you want to check the document and provide any feedback, that will be welcome.
Fantastic. If you don't mind putting it into maybe Discord, it could go in the validator channel or the public channel in Discord. And, Dan and Sarah B are both excited. So maybe the BlowClick and Blockscape and R&D Inc. with Dan and Sarah representing, we can sort of do a couple cycles on this together and just work through everything, and then push that back up to the working group, and also maybe push something through into a community proposal around how we want to approach offsetting as a network.
Okay, cool. I will post the document and see if we can improve it.
Awesome. All right, great. All right, well, we're a couple minutes past, so excited to wrap up. Thanks everybody for hopping on our our update call here, and yeah, just really excited, grateful. Hopefully see some of you maybe in Lisbon. I'll be heading there. That was the other piece of news we didn't share. Some of us are headed to Lisbon for the community Cosmos Community Conference. I'll be there starting on Monday evening and through the 10th. So I'll be participating in a little bit of a sprint with some of our engineering team, and then the community conference, and then the Earth Strategy Unconference that IXO and Interchain Foundation are hosting, and then and then be headed back home. So maybe see some of you there, and if not, we'll see you on the interwebs.
Bye. Thank you.
Ciao, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.